If you're past 60 and still waking up at 2 or 3 in the morning, every night, you know how frustrating that can be. You're tired, but your body won't settle. You lie still trying to relax, but your brain stays busy. And no matter what you try, melatonin, herbal teas, white noise machines, you still wake up feeling like you barely slept. The truth is, after 60, your body doesn't produce sleep hormones the way it used to, but that doesn't mean you need stronger pills or more supplements. In fact, what your body might really need is something simple, like the right food signal at the right time. That's where tomatoes come in. Yes, tomatoes, they're not just for sandwiches or pasta sauce. When used the right way in the evening, tomatoes can help your body naturally shift into rest mode. Thanks to compounds like melatonin and lycopene, they support deeper sleep without side effects. Today, I'll show you 3 practical, down-to-earth ways to use tomatoes at night to help your body calm down and rest the way it's meant to. No hype, no miracle cure, just one small change that could help you feel more human in the morning. Part 1: Why tomatoes help restore natural sleep. Sleep doesn't break all at once. It slips away slowly. First, you start waking up a little earlier than you used to. Then you find yourself tossing more at night. Over time, you realize you're no longer sleeping through the night at all. You might fall asleep fine, but you wake up after 2 or 3 hours and your body simply refuses to shut down again. You lie there wide awake, knowing tomorrow will start with that same heaviness in your chest and cloud in your head. If this sounds familiar, you're not alone. After 60, this is a common struggle. It's not a sign of weakness. It's simply the body changing. One of the biggest changes is a drop in melatonin, the hormone that helps your brain recognize when it's time to sleep. In younger years, your body produced it naturally and abundantly. But as we age, melatonin levels decline. That's why even when you feel tired, your brain might not get the signal to shut down. The good news is, the body is still willing to rest. It just needs a little help remembering how, and that's where food comes in, specifically tomatoes. Now, it may sound surprising. Tomatoes aren't typically linked to sleep. They're in your salad, your pasta, your sandwich. But when you look at them through the lens of healing and recovery, they're something more. They're a gentle signal to the body that it's safe to slow down. Ripe tomatoes are one of the very few foods that contain natural melatonin. They also carry lycopene, a compound that reduces inflammation and calms the nervous system. In fact, the redness of a tomato comes from lycopene. When you eat tomatoes in the evening, you're not just eating a vegetable, you're sending your body 3 powerful messages: that it's time to ease down, that the day is done, and that the systems working hard all day can begin to repair and restore. Melatonin helps regulate your circadian rhythm, which is your body's internal clock. When consumed through food, it gives your body a softer, more natural nudge to begin winding down, unlike pills that often force the body into sedation. Lycopene, on the other hand, helps reduce oxidative stress, something that builds up more quickly with age and often interferes with sleep quality. Studies have shown that people with higher lycopene levels tend to sleep longer and more soundly. Add to that the potassium and vitamin C in tomatoes, both known for supporting blood pressure regulation and nerve function, and you begin to see a bigger picture. This isn't just about a fruit, it's about what that fruit offers your body at the exact time it needs it most. What makes this so important is that it's not a radical change. You don't have to overhaul your life, eliminate everything you enjoy, or commit to a strict regimen. You're simply using food more purposefully. A tomato at the right time, prepared the right way, becomes more than food. It becomes a message, a soft landing, a shift from go, go, go to you can rest now. And rest isn't just about sleep. It's about allowing your body to stop defending and start repairing. It's where healing happens, where memory sorts itself, where hormones rebalance. Sleep is the foundation for all of that, and something as simple and accessible as a tomato can help you start laying that foundation again, naturally, gently, and without side effects. If you've been living with broken sleep, you've likely gotten used to it. You may have even convinced yourself that this is just how things are now, but it doesn't have to be. The key is not to fight harder, but to support smarter. And tomatoes, when used with intention, offer one of the simplest ways to do just that. This isn't a miracle cure, and it won't change everything overnight, but give it a few evenings. Pay attention to how your body responds. The stillness might come more easily. The rest might last longer. The mornings might feel just a bit lighter. That's where change begins, with something small, repeated in kindness. Now that you understand why tomatoes can help restore your sleep naturally, let's explore 3 practical ways to use them so you can find the one that fits your rhythm best. Part 2: The Tomato Formula. 3 easy sleep-friendly options. 1. Warm tomato juice for light evenings without eating much. There are nights when you don't want to eat anything heavy. You've already had dinner early, your stomach feels settled, and the last thing you want is to overdo it before bed. But then 9 p.m. comes, your body is tired, but your mind is still going. You sit quietly in your chair, lights dim, maybe reading or watching something soft, but deep down you already know sleep will be hard tonight. What your body might be missing isn't more rest, it's a signal. A gentle nudge that says it's time to slow down. That's where a small glass of warm tomato juice can make all the difference. Warm tomato juice isn't a common nighttime habit, but that's exactly why it works so well. It's light, comforting, and filled with natural compounds that quietly tell your body to begin shutting down for the day. When served warm, not hot, not cold, it becomes less of a beverage and more of a nighttime ritual. One that calms the nerves, soothes digestion, and gently encourages the transition from day to night. You're not forcing yourself to sleep, you're giving your system the conditions it needs to do what it's always known how to do: rest. Ripe tomatoes contain natural melatonin, the same hormone your brain produces to regulate sleep. But after 60, your melatonin production drops, which means your body may not always get the memo that it's time to wind down. Drinking warm tomato juice about an hour before bed helps fill that gap naturally, safely, and without any need for pills. You're simply replenishing what your body has gradually lost over time. No side effects, no dependencies, just a quiet return to balance. There's also lycopene, a powerful antioxidant that gives tomatoes their red color. Lycopene has been studied for its ability to reduce oxidative stress, which increases with age and often disrupts sleep. It also helps lower inflammation, support cardiovascular health, and relax the blood vessels, an important factor in getting the heart rate to slow down at night. Combine that with potassium and vitamin C, and you're feeding your nervous system exactly what it needs to let go of tension. The way you prepare this juice matters. It's best to use fresh, ripe tomatoes, preferably organic. Wash and blend about 1 cup, 150-200 grams, with a bit of warm water to make it easy on digestion. Strain if your stomach is sensitive. To enhance the calming effect, you can add a teaspoon of raw honey, known for its ability to stabilize blood sugar and support deep sleep. Some people also enjoy adding 1 or 2 fresh mint leaves, not for flavor but for the cooling sensation that helps quiet the mind. The juice should be warm to the touch, not hot. Think of it like a bedtime tea, simple, soothing, and intentionally quiet. Drinking this warm juice 1 hour before bed allows your body enough time to absorb the nutrients and begin shifting into rest mode. It's also a chance to build a rhythm, because good sleep isn't just about what you eat or drink, it's about what your body expects. When you give it the same gentle signal night after night, it starts to remember. The juice becomes a cue: the day is done, let's rest now. What's beautiful about this practice is how unintrusive it is. You don't have to change your whole diet. You don't need to fast or overhaul your routine. You're simply adding one small, thoughtful step, one that aligns with the season of life you're in. A season that asks not for speed but for softness, not for force but for care. Some nights this juice may not knock you out. That's okay, it's not meant to. It's meant to support your system over time, to restore rhythm, to make each night a little easier than the last. And in time, those small changes begin to build something stronger. Trust between your body and your habits. Trust that rest will come gently, reliably, and in its own way. Try it tonight. 1 ripe tomato, 1 cup of warm, nourishing juice. 1 quiet moment before sleep, no expectations, just a small act of kindness toward yourself and toward the sleep you deserve. 2. Tomato soup for those who prefer a warm, nourishing evening meal. Some evenings, a cold glass of juice just doesn't feel right. You want warmth, something soft, something that settles into your body with calm and comfort. After a long day, especially in cooler weather, there's something deeply grounding about a warm meal. Not heavy, not complicated, just something that feels like care. For many people over 60, sleep doesn't come just because they are tired. It comes when the body feels safe, supported, and settled. That's why a simple bowl of warm tomato soup can be more than food. It can be part of a natural path back to deeper rest. Tomato soup isn't new. but the way you use it, when, how, and why can transform it from a dinner side dish into a gentle sleep companion. The secret lies in both the ingredients and the timing. When tomatoes are gently cooked, especially with heart-healthy oils like olive oil and calming herbs like garlic or onion, they release even more of their natural benefits. Lycopene in particular becomes more bioavailable when heated with a bit of fat. That means your body can absorb it more easily just when it needs it most. Lycopene helps lower inflammation and oxidative stress, both of which tend to rise with age and can interfere with sleep. It also supports heart health and helps relax blood vessels, making it easier for your body to ease into a slower, more restful state. Add to that the warmth of the soup itself, which naturally soothes the digestive system and helps regulate internal temperature, and you're creating the perfect internal conditions for better sleep. It's not about sedating the body, it's about gently preparing it for what it already wants to do. To make this soup work as a sleep aid, timing and simplicity are key. Eat it around 6:00 or 6:30 in the evening, early enough that your body has time to digest, but not so early that you're left hungry at bedtime. Use fresh, ripe tomatoes if possible. Sauté a bit of garlic and chopped onion in olive oil, then add the chopped tomatoes and cook until soft. You can blend it smooth if you prefer or leave it slightly chunky. Season lightly, avoid anything too salty or spicy, as those can disrupt sleep. A pinch of basil or thyme can add flavor without overwhelming the senses. This isn't about creating a gourmet dish, it's about creating a ritual, one that signals to your nervous system that the day is winding down, one that replaces evening snacking with something intentional and calming, one that gently supports your heart, your nerves, your digestion, and your sleep. The beauty of this practice is that it doesn't feel like a sleep strategy, it just feels like nourishment. And that's often exactly what the body needs after 60. Fewer rules, more care. Fewer pills, more signals. A bowl of soup might seem too simple to make a difference, but it's not about the soup alone. It's about what the soup represents: warmth, rhythm, presence. When you eat it consistently, your body begins to anticipate it, and over time it responds not with drowsiness but with readiness. This is especially helpful if you've struggled with meals that are too heavy at night. Large dinners late in the evening can make sleep harder. They keep your digestion working overtime and can lead to restless nights. A light bowl of tomato soup offers a middle ground, enough substance to feel satisfied but gentle enough to promote rest, not resistance. As with anything natural, the results won't be instant or dramatic, but they will be real. With each night you make this soup part of your routine, you're supporting your sleep in a quiet, steady way. You're building consistency not just in what you eat, but in how you care for yourself. So tonight, if you're looking for something warm, light, and deeply nourishing, try making a bowl of tomato soup, not because it's a cure, but because it's a gesture. One that says, my evening matters, my sleep matters, and I deserve to rest well. 3. Fresh tomato salad for a refreshing, natural option. Some evenings you're not hungry, you don't want soup, you don't want juice. You just want something light, refreshing, and real, not processed, not artificial. Just something simple that makes your body feel clean and your mind feel calm. For many people over 60, that simplicity is what's missing, not in food but in life and in the way they approach rest. That's where a fresh tomato salad becomes more than just a dish. It becomes a quiet act of support, a way to remind your body gently and naturally that the day is ending and rest is near. Tomatoes, when eaten raw, carry their full load of natural nutrients, nothing boiled out, nothing broken down. That means you're getting their natural melatonin, their hydrating properties, and their unique combination of antioxidants and minerals exactly as they were designed. When eaten in the evening, about 1:1, 5 hours before bed, a simple fresh tomato salad can calm the digestive system, hydrate the body without heaviness, and lightly prepare your nervous system for sleep. No sedation, no manipulation, just real food doing what real food does best: support. The key here isn't just the tomato itself, it's the way you build the salad and the message it sends to your body. Use ripe, red tomatoes, cherry tomatoes, or vine-ripened are excellent choices. Slice them gently. Add a handful of greens like spinach or butter lettuce. Maybe a few slices of cucumber or avocado if you want a touch more richness. A drizzle of extra virgin olive oil, not too much, helps your body absorb fat-soluble nutrients like lycopene and beta-carotene. Add a pinch of sea salt or a few drops of lemon juice if desired, but skip anything spicy or acidic late at night. This salad is not a meal in the traditional sense. It's not about filling you up, it's about winding you down. It's a light, deliberate act that says, I'm not trying to fix anything, I'm just taking care of myself. That message matters more than we think, because often the reason we can't sleep isn't just physical, it's emotional. It's the mind still solving problems, reviewing the day, preparing for the next. A fresh salad at night is a small reminder that you've done enough for today, that it's okay to stop. That rest is not something to earn, it's something to allow. The freshness of the salad also cools the body slightly, which supports your natural temperature dip before sleep. That drop in core temperature is one of the key biological signals that tells your body to enter deeper rest. Pair this cooling effect with the mild sedative influence of the natural melatonin in tomatoes, and you've got a powerful combination, especially when used consistently, not once but night after night. If your evenings often include snacks, crackers, toast, something sweet, consider replacing those with this salad just 2 or 3 times a week to start. Pay attention to how you feel. You may notice less bloating, less heaviness, and a quieter mental state before bed. This is especially useful if you've been struggling with fragmented sleep, waking up often, feeling restless, or not falling into deep sleep at all. The point here isn't to make you eat salad forever. It's to give your body something simple and supportive, something it recognizes, something gentle. And that's the beauty of this method. It doesn't ask you to change everything. It invites you to change one thing, one small moment in the evening, one small choice that says, I'm ready to rest. So if tonight feels noisy, if your body feels tense or your thoughts are loud, try this. Slice a few tomatoes, drizzle them with olive oil, sit quietly while you eat. No screen, no rush, no goal, just the cool, fresh taste of food that hasn't been altered or overworked. Let it be enough. Let it be the start of a new kind of rest. Part 3: Important tips to keep it safe and effective. Natural remedies only work when they're used with care. And while tomatoes are a gentle, familiar food, they're not magic, they are nourishment. Like anything you put into your body, how and when you use them matters. If you've made the decision to try adding tomatoes to your evening routine to support your sleep, there are a few simple guidelines that can help you get the most benefit, while also keeping your body safe, comfortable, and supported. First, quality matters. Choose ripe, red tomatoes whenever possible. The deeper the color, the richer the lycopene and melatonin content. Tomatoes that are pale, underripe, or out of season may have lower nutritional value and can sometimes be harder on digestion. Organic is a great option if it's available, but what matters most is that the tomato is fresh, firm, and fully ripened. Wash it thoroughly, especially if it's store-bought, to remove any pesticides or wax coatings. Second, avoid green or unripe tomatoes. While they may look harmless, green tomatoes contain a compound called solanine, a natural alkaloid that can cause stomach discomfort in some people, especially if eaten raw or in large amounts. While a small amount might not be dangerous, it's not worth the risk, especially when the goal is calm and rest. Stick with red, ripened varieties for both safety and effectiveness. Third, timing makes a difference. Tomatoes are best consumed 1 to 2 hours before bedtime, depending on how you choose to prepare them. If you eat too close to sleep, especially a large portion, it may lead to indigestion or interfere with your body's ability to fully settle. On the other hand, if you eat too early in the evening, your body may not retain the sleep-promoting effect long enough to help. Find a rhythm that works for you. A light soup at 6:30 p.m., a small salad at 7:30, or warm juice around 8. All of these are reasonable depending on your lifestyle and what time you go to bed. If you have a sensitive stomach, consider removing the seeds or straining blended tomatoes. While tomato seeds are small, they can be irritating to those with digestive sensitivities. They're not dangerous, but for some people they can cause bloating or mild indigestion, especially when eaten raw. If you've had a history of reflux or acid sensitivity, lightly cooking the tomatoes or choosing soup over raw salad may be more gentle on your system. Another tip: don't drink tomato juice cold at night. Cold beverages, even if healthy, can disrupt digestion and body temperature regulation before sleep. Keep your juice warm or at room temperature. Think of it more like a calming tea than a drink from the fridge. That shift in temperature and intention makes a difference not just physically but emotionally. Warm things slow us down, cold things tend to wake us up. Also, moderation is key. Even though tomatoes are healthy, more is not always better. Stick to 1-2 medium tomatoes per day depending on how you prepare them. This provides enough melatonin and nutrients to be effective without overloading your system. Eating too many tomatoes, especially raw, may increase stomach acid, lead to discomfort, or simply feel heavy. This routine is about support, not stimulation. If you're on medications, especially those for blood pressure, consult your doctor before making any major dietary changes. Tomatoes are naturally rich in potassium, which is great for most people, but in some cases, too much potassium can interact with medications or kidney conditions. This is rare, but it's always wise to be thoughtful when combining food and medicine. Finally, be patient. The effects of tomato-based sleep support are gentle and cumulative. You may not feel an immediate shift on night 1, but over the course of a few days or a week, your body will start to recognize the rhythm. The consistency matters more than the intensity. You're not pushing your body to do something unnatural, you're simply giving it the conditions it needs to do what it was always built to do: rest, repair, and reset. So keep it simple, keep it safe, and most of all, keep it kind. Your body listens closely to the way you care for it, and something as humble as a tomato, when used with thoughtfulness, can be a small but powerful part of that care. If you've made it to this point, thank you for your time, for your attention, and for your willingness to explore something simple, something natural, and something deeply human. Sleep after 60 isn't just about getting more hours, it's about recovering the peace and rhythm that once came so easily. What we've talked about today isn't a miracle solution. It's not about forcing your body to sleep, it's about gently helping it remember how to rest. Tomatoes, humble as they seem, carry the exact signals many aging bodies are quietly asking for. Melatonin to guide your inner clock, lycopene to ease inflammation and tension, and nutrients like potassium and vitamin C to support the heart, nerves, and blood pressure. But more than that, they offer a gentle, grounded way to reintroduce rhythm into your evenings. Whether through a warm cup of juice, a simple soup, or a fresh salad, this is not about the food alone. It's about the moment, the choice to slow down, the intention to care for yourself in a way that's quiet but powerful. Each of us has a different relationship with sleep. Some of us have been fighting it for years. Others are just beginning to feel it slip away. But wherever you are on that journey, I hope this gives you not just a new method, but a renewed sense of hope. Not everything has to be hard. Some solutions are soft. Some begin with one small, kind habit repeated with care. So tonight, whether you choose a tomato or not, I hope you give yourself permission to rest. Not because you've done enough, but simply because you are enough. And if tomorrow you feel just a little more rested, a little more clear, that's a win worth noticing. Thank you for watching, for trusting this space, and for taking one small step toward better sleep. You deserve rest. You deserve ease. You deserve to wake up feeling like yourself again. Sleep well tonight. And if you try one of these methods, let it be gentle, let it be steady, and let it be yours. Good night and take care.